Hey folks, how's it going? Cygame has put up a second Suptix this summer and its expiration date should coincide with the August Flash Fest. And since the Suptix also come with a 10-part draw on top of letting you pick a non-limited character, I've been considering dropping a few bucks on it. The expiration date also makes it so I can pick the Suptix character after I'm done sparking, so there's no chance of getting Gold Mooned, which is always a nice plus. When it comes to which characters to pick, the first thought goes to next month's Unite and Fight. Being wind favored, it puts wind characters under the spotlight, and mechanically, the best options for that are going to be characters with good CA specs and or extra nukes on charge attack or enemy trigger for decay, assassins or strong buffers for burst comps, or extremely defensive characters for the Nightmare 150 and 200s. The last Unite and Fight kind of surprised us, making us dust off our Lumia and Gandalf. So let's head on over to the wiki, filter for normal characters, and let's go down the list. After her rebalance, Petra got a nice little boost with her Keen and 2 hits mirror image. The nuke on enemy charge attack might also help a bit for OTK, but I wouldn't count too much on it. Another small issue she's going to run into in the next Guild War is the fact that bosses usually have AoE attacks which go through the mirror image, and since she has no other way to mitigate damage, I'm afraid that's a pass. Next we go to Azusa. She also has a nuke on charge attack, but she needs to press a button for it. The strong part of her kit is the guaranteed triple attack with the 20% normal attack amplified. Might be okay as a standard attacker, but she is easy to pass on if you have limited options like Granblue. Karo is a new addition for this ticket and comes in with some pretty interesting skills for a meme harp team. Plenty of skill damage with the second skill resetting on charge attack, and some tuning synergy if you can also run Neon, Cantante or Selphira. The team would need some time to stack the debuff up though. Elia might be my pick this time around. She activates her first skill on charge attack, and that can be double casted depending on her team slot. 8 hits of 150k base cap damage should help plenty when you slot in a couple of beaks. The 100k charge attack supplemental sadly doesn't stack with Cetes, but she also brings some CA spec buffs, charge bar gain and CA reactivation if you're manually in normal fights. Fingers crossed she will have some use outside of OTK. Melissabel has just gotten a pretty interesting 5-star, bringing even more skill nukes and multi-hits. Her skill reset is on a yellow one though, which makes her a bit better suited for manual play compared to full auto, and I think she would fare better in a Proving Grounds than Guild War. Nedza's dual elemental kit still feels really weird. I hear his skill damage is supposed to be decent and he brings a 20% fire cut that resets on charge attack, but still, that's going to be a pass from me. Next we have Sho, an enmity burst character. 2 clicks for a team-wide damage amp and 20% echo doesn't look too bad. If you don't have Neon 150, Grand Iwia or Samaranila, he might be a decent slot in for a Grand Neru burst. Sutera brings a 10% damage cap up and a passive 50k skill supplemental damage for the whole team, as well as 3 red skills with the last one resetting the cooldown for the first 2. Too bad they're not multi-hits themselves. Much like Melissabel, she might be better off for one-turn memes in Proving Grounds. Tiamat is the first character that brings some decent sustain. Her attack and defense buff is sadly a bit too short at a 3 out of 6 duration, but the Mist, 2-turn CA lock and Veil could come in handy. The other new wind character added to the Suptix is Cantate, coming in with more tuning, a double dispel on her skill 2, and a full heal plus skill reset for all harp allies once the tuning stack reaches 10. Like Selphira, she also gets an extra small nuke on normal attack from tuning 7, which is pretty neat. And much like Karo, she looks like a bit of a meme character for a harp team. Next up we have Enyo, a pretty good general use character. Dispel, Defense Down and Petrified are all great utility, and she really shines in longer fights after her Goddess Ecstasy stack gets maxed. She's also extra fun when paired with Halloween Leech, triggering her extra nuke whenever an enemy does get a buff up. If you pick Queen Lily, you might end up on some list, but the FBI agent assigned to monitoring you is going to have to watch you full auto the nightmare 200s thanks to her armored, auto-cast heals and clears and damage reduction based on Typhoon crests. The 5-time Dispel on her nuke might also come really in handy if you play manually. Last character worth mentioning is Uisis. In her Heaven's Bane mode, she gets a neat assassin plus 50% echo and 20% damage cap. Her main issue is the lack of a guaranteed triple attack. Her 5-star isn't even that old, why they left the double attack on her 3rd skill is beyond my understanding. So, Elia for OTK, Azusa, Sho and maybe Uisis for burst, while Lily would be a decent pick for sustain. After the United fight, we'll be getting a Dread Barrage in October, but those usually don't require too much effort. The next event that would worry me would be the inevitable Water-favored Guild War in December or January, so let's go over some water options too. Anne's 5-star was kind of amazing. She does need a lot of charge bar since she only does her charge attack at 200%, but she brings an unworldly modifier, automatic first skill activation and Dispel cancel. Her first skill comes with a 100% defense up, armored and a 40% fire cut. If anyone has an almost guaranteed slot for the Nightmare 200s, it's going to be her, especially if someone doesn't have Wamdus yet. The self-sustain, counters, echoes and free attack are just the cherry on top. Gwyn comes in as a powered up relic buster with her own guaranteed triple attack, assassin, echo and double strike. I don't have her yet and she might be really nice for a burst comp. Zeta is also another assassin and she brings a nice 10% echo for the team's triple attack. In order to get her own 100% echo though, she needs to do a charge attack at least once, which slows her down a little bit. Kupitan is basically a cuter Cerise, with multi-hit nuke, a reset and double cast. She also brings in a real nice 50k skill supplemental for water allies, but like Cerise, she's also better suited for manual play and a better fit for proving grounds than United Fight. Filene got a pretty nice rebalance and she brings a skill spec buff, 20% damage reduction and a 50k supplemental damage. She would be better paired with characters who can inflict Glaciate like Kupitan, Erin, Grand Lancelot and Lily, but other than skill damage, all she brings is a delay. Speaking of rebalanced characters, Yuel also got some nice skill nukes and auto activations, but unless you're a big Fox fan, that Suptix might be better spent elsewhere. For example, on Erika, another character missing from my box and someone who would be very fun to run with a Relic Buster or a Soldier. If I ever consider getting the 150 Gold Moon gun, it might happen around the 12th anniversary though. Next up, Water Korwa. She felt like a bit of a downgrade compared to her summer version, but she still brings special permanent buffs. Lily might also unironically be a good pick as well. She's been moved to the classic gacha and I don't think too many people actually roll on that thing. Still, she brings a 2 out of 8 70% fire cut, auto-activating heals and clears, glaciate and up to 20% fire damage resistance. Last mention would be Ingui, who is the one and only character in the entire game who's got a new style for his 5-star version. The new build is locked behind his own event story which ran in September 2022. Jesus, has it been a year already? So you might need to wait for a rerun to unlock it, but he gets a decent nuke and an attack without using a turn skill, on top of a skill refresh and reactivation. A pretty decent kit for some manual burst. For the water picks, it would be between Gwyn and Erika, but that's just because I already have everyone else. Outside of United Fight, other options would lie in the raids that I would need to farm. For me at this point, these are mostly the Ravens, but the characters I'm missing are almost all limiteds, Earth Satia being the only exception, since she makes hosting Diaspora on a Magna setup way easier than whatever I've been putting myself through. With the upcoming second Ravens weapon series, it might become mandatory to do at least my daily hosts, cause farming them while trying to race against primal setups with 150 Gold Moon weapons is just silly. So my pick would go to either Elia, Gwen, Erika or Setia, but I might not need Erika if I can get a consistent 2TK without her. The Yggdrasil Manatura didn't even proc this time, so it looks like Manadiver can take care of it alongside the usual suspects, so the choice goes down to 3. Alright then, it looks like that's going to be it for me for the moment. I will probably bite the bullet and pick up Setia unless I get her during my next spark. Let me know if you're Suptixing anyone down in the comments, and see ya soon. Ciao!